Hello, everybody. We're about to watch the third and final iteration of the latest Channel F Crapshoot. I decided to go ahead and do it with the light on this time as opposed to the usual darkness. If you look closely behind me, you might see the Futurama Complete Series box set sitting on top of my bookshelf. That's on my to-watch pile. Rewatch all of that. It's been a while since I watched any of those. Anyway, on to the questions. Well, I do want to say I started this to have some other people to inspire some other people to do their own crapshoots. I always enjoy watching them and hearing everybody's answers to all the various ridiculous questions. And I know we have a couple in the works, so I would say mission accomplished on that point. And I know I still haven't gotten to answer some questions that had been asked of me, and I'm really annoyed when someone doesn't follow through with that. So I want to make sure that I wrap it up. So, okay. Asimov, if you try to fail and succeed, which have you done? Well, you've done both. I actually have tried to fail on several different occasions in my life. Usually at school for various spiteful reasons to get back at faculty elitists and various people that have wronged me. So I have tried to fail and succeeded at it. I've also failed to fail. That happened to George Costanza once. That's not a good feeling. But you've kind of done both, and I think it is possible to do both. If you have an unusual mindset like George Costanza or myself, whose bar for life success is probably a little atypical. You can do both at times. Asimov also asks, if God is all-powerful, can he make a rock so big that he can't lift it? You spell God with a capital G. I assume you're referring to the Judeo-Christian Islamic God. I don't really have a direct line to him. I did pose that question to a few other deities from older mythological pantheons. Zeus actually just kind of seemed a little irritated that I was questioning the level of his power, and he just kind of cast me out of Mount Olympus. After I did ask, he was also kind of right in the middle of taking on one of his animal forms. He was about to have his way with some woman, as he is wont to do, so I don't think it was a good time to ask him that question either. But I did pose it to him. He was a little annoyed I asked. Marduk, the ancient Babylonian chief god, he was mostly going on and on about Tiamat and Apsu and various primordial saltwater deities. Might be some shit going down there pretty soon about that. They might be returning. I don't know. He was a little preoccupied. Odin just kind of shrugged and said he can't. He's not all-powerful. None of the Norse gods are all-powerful. Ragnarok eventually can and will happen. He shrugged and said, so it goes. That's just the way of things. So he can't. So, anyway, I hope that's helpful. Is it possible for anyone to realize they're insane? Another Asimov question. Yeah, I think so. Now, I am not insane by any means. I don't think I am, at least. But I'm not a mentally healthy individual by any stretch of the imagination either, and I am aware of that. I have some personal problems, but I'm aware that I do. I'm aware they could probably should be treated. Nothing I'm not dangerously unstable or anything like that. But I have some problems that I'm aware of and probably need to be addressed at some point. So I'm aware I'm not mentally healthy. Can you actually realize you're completely and utterly insane? Well, he's a fictional character, but I believe that the Joker, the non-Heath Ledger, I don't think that the Heath Joker was insane. I think he kind of just gazed into the abyss and seen the ultimate truth for what it was, and just he had the reaction to that anybody would. I don't think he was insane, but most iterations of the Joker, I think he is fully aware that he's insane, and is pretty cool with it. He's a fictional character though, so whether or not we can really look to him for a definitive real life answer, I don't know. But yeah, I think some people are probably aware they're totally wacko, and they're fine with it. How many unknowable things do we not know? Well, if they're unknowable, can we know that we don't know? I don't know. There might be a Futurama episode to address that type of sci-fi caliber question, probably a lot better than I could. What is the purpose of this question? Well, it's probably to elicit some sort of amusing or quasi-amusing response from me that you can watch. That would be the purpose of any question you would ask in a crapshoot. Want an entertaining answer or something. Is this question impossible to answer? Well, I gave it my best shot. I don't know if I succeeded or failed. I don't know. That's for you to judge. All right, that wraps up Ozimov's questions. Let's see. Agent P, since I'm the person who made the very first crapshoot, do you ever find it weird that I never did a third one? Well, you know, Michael Keaton didn't do a third Batman, and that was probably for the best. Well, I mean, he did kind of, you know, well, I guess he did Birdman recently. He got a lot of acclaim for that. He was also the Vulture in the new Spider-Man film. I was going to say he kind of faded off the map for a while. You didn't hear a lot about Keaton after Batman, but I think he was wise not to do the third one. He was definitely wise not to have let what he did not be around for the fourth one. But you know, you're kind of like Keaton. You did two, you're happy with that, and you didn't need to do another one. You didn't want to do a bad one. So I respect that. What would you not do for a Klondike bar? Agent P again. I wouldn't do a lot of things. I wouldn't watch Deadpool with Ryan Reynolds. I fucking hate Ryan Reynolds. I fucking hate Deadpool. I hate Meta Deadpool. Cable looks like garbage, so does Domino. They look about as I would have... They look to be treated with about as much respect as I was expecting them to be treated with, frankly. But I would not watch Deadpool for a Klondike bar. Because Ryan Reynolds sucks, Deadpool sucks. The modern, meta, self-aware Deadpool sucks. I liked Deadpool back when he was just a very sarcastic badass, and I wish he would go back to being one. But I don't think that's going to happen. So anyway, to answer the question, I would not watch Deadpool. I wouldn't watch the trailer for Deadpool, for that matter. Next question, Agent P again. If wrestling was a shoot and you were the MITB contract holder, would you be a fair wrestler who announces the cash-in date in advance, or would you run out after the champ is bloody and beaten? I would, like Edge did once, I think at New Year's something. I was going to say New Year's Evil, but I think that's just a forgotten 80s slasher film. I don't think that's what the pay-per-view was called. You know, if you win Money in the Bank, I think you ought to be as tactful as possible in using it. And I would do what Edge did. I would cash in at the most opportune time that would allow me to win the title. That's using it properly. I do like to think I'm a man of honor for the most part, but you know, the rules make it clear that you don't have to use it, you know, fair and square. You know. I could also see playing a face character that doesn't want to be in the match in the first place, that would prefer to earn his title shot in a more traditional fashion. But if I did win and it was in the match and did win, I would be as Machiavellian as possible and attempt to win the title in that fashion, because that is how it was designed to be used. The rules allow it, and if the rules allow it, why not? Did you notice that Natalya climbed the ladder during Money in the Bank like she was a video game character? I did not. I didn't actually watch that pay-per-view. I don't have the network or anything. But I might have to see if I can find that. That does sound funny. But it does sound amusing. Have you ever misspelled easy words due to wrestling, i.e. in a third grade spelling test I once spelled stew as stew like Brett's dad? My spelling is usually pretty good, so I don't think I've done that. But I mispronounce words fairly frequently. I like to use big words but not pronounce them correctly, sometimes on purpose, just to screw with people, just so they never really know what to expect, you know. But I don't really think that's due to wrestling, so I would have to say no on that. Let's see. We got Agent P and Ozimov done. What else do we have? Torgadden asks, what's a crapshoot? Well, this right here, what I'm pointing at, is a crapshoot. You ask asinine questions. The more asinine, the better, for the most part. If anybody asked me a serious question, I would answer it as best I could, though. And you watch the video, and hopefully you get a few cheap laughs, you know, in between watching, the latest Penny Brown /Plunderbust video on YouTube. That's usually what if I'm on YouTube, that's usually what I'm watching. or maybe like a clip of some violent movie or something. A good action scene will do it for me too. And do you get fries with that? Asked Torcat. Yeah, but with me, I like curly fries. Seasoned curly fries are nice with honey mustard. So that's how I would prefer my fries. Are newborn babies just freeloaders that should get a job? Yeah. I think once you're born, you ought to be doing something productive with your life. Start them off early. Dickensian workhouses. I wouldn't have a problem with those coming back, as long as I was the overlord of one of them, and not like that poor guy who gets sealed up in the abandoned coke oven on the Simpsons Union episode. Wouldn't want to be that guy, but could definitely see myself wearing Burns' grandfather's nice outfit there and ordering other people around, working him to death. Bob Holly asks, favorite Glow wrestler, favorite WWF wrestler, fave Herb Adams, fave Powell, fave Watts, fave WCC. Well, Bob, unfortunately, most of these are just kind of before my time. I'm only really familiar with 80s WCW and WWF stuff. I don't really have an answer to any of those questions. I'm just not familiar enough with the rosters of the time. Favorite Glow wrestler, I guess, would probably be the Bustiest. Would probably be a safe bet, whoever that would have been. What's the name of the guy that does that? The best wrestling promo ever on YouTube. The country boy who says "Yep," and then starts talking about how grueling of a match he just had. That guy was very funny. I like that quite a bit. Was he a part of any of those programs you named? If so, he would be my choice there. That guy kind of cracks me up. Luther Simon, how much do you like Orson Welles? Luther Simon asks. Well, I'm a fan, I guess you could say. I'm not a super fan or scholar of Orson Welles by any means, but once you're done with Citizen Kane, my next Welles choice would probably be Touch of Evil with Charlton Heston. A good film noir movie there if you like noir stuff, and I do. Welles as a man and as a celebrity, I know he was a part of some of those Dean Martin celebrity roasts, and he did a voice in the Transformers movie, so doesn't seem like a guy who took himself too seriously, despite being a dramatic actor and director. Had a sense of humor about himself. Certainly his place in popular culture is well established. I love pretty much any time the critic animated series would mention him or spoof him. Was always good, and he got the whole, I think it's an apocryphal story, to be honest, but the War of the Worlds panic that was induced by his live reading of the Welles text. It's pretty funny. It's not entirely true. So I like Orson Welles. Haven't seen all of his films, but if I ever get a Welles box set, I would check it out. I would enjoy it. I like everything that I've seen of Welles. Opinion on Team New Zealand winning the America's Cup. Good for them. Did you know that the America's Cup existed? No. I don't really care either. I'm not even sure what sport it is. If it's, I like the MMA stuff, but aside from that, I don't really watch any legit sport. I don't care to. But they won, so good for them. Somebody's gonna win. Who is the realest guy in the forum? Well, I'd probably say Bob Holly. Bob never shies away from talking about personal stuff in a serious conversation. He shares what he's seen, good and bad. And I got a lot of respect for Bob. He's a funny guy and everything, but he's not afraid to voice his opinion on things. Has a desire to help people, and I think he wants to keep the crap hole entertaining and a good place to be for all of the posters. So I would probably say Bob. Quite a bit of respect for Bob Holly there. A very real guy, I think. I don't dislike anybody on the forum. I don't think. I don't think I hate anybody. But Bob is probably the realest guy. I'm not. I never really get real or serious aside from, lamenting my single status in the Hearts Matter forum. That's about it. Other than that, I very seldom post anything serious. That's just the way I prefer to be, though. Most of my opinions, about things would probably be pretty polarizing, or just let's not get into that. Should I change career paths? Well, I don't know what you're doing right now. If you're if you're an adult movie star exclusively banging very top-heavy women, I would say no. Just stay the course, Big Ned. You're doing super. But if you're a janitor in an adult movie theater, I would say yeah, you can probably do something better than that. Advice on how to deal with not being single. You don't want to ask me that question. My answer would just be weekly trips to the strip club, and you don't want to go down that path. Believe me. Baylor Club reunion, yay or nay? I don't really follow. I don't really watch regularly the program that they appear on, so I don't know. But there have been too many reunions, I think, that don't really go anywhere, so maybe nay. Kurt Angle is a good GM. Yeah, I haven't seen what he's doing now with the current product, but Kurt can be very over-the-top funny and ridiculous angles, and he can also be a good heel GM. I mean, yeah, I know we're all sick to death of heel GMs and whatnot, but he is good. He can do funny. He can also do straight pretty well. So if you have to have one, if you have to go down that path again, yeah, he's a good one. Favorite pizza type? Is he asking me what do I want on the pizza or the actual type of pizza, or both? I like thick crust pizza. I like it very, very thick. Much like women, I don't like thin, petite, lightweight stuff. I like the thicker pizza, thicker women. So thick pizza. I kind of go through phases in my life. As a kid, I used to love pepperoni. Then I went on a sausage kick. I've been on a just pure cheese kick for some time now. That's worked out pretty well for me. I do like Red Baron pepperoni because it's the very small little cubes instead of the really big thick slices of pepperoni. Whenever I eat Red Baron, it's always pepperoni, not cheese. But generally speaking, cheese only. Now, last but not least, the barber who has recently returned after an absence. How are you making another crapshoot when they clearly killed you off in the previous one? Well, this is a reboot of the crapshoots. This one exists in a separate continuity from the others. So what came before can kind of just be thrown out the window because it's all brand new stuff here. Like the Daniel Craig James Bond is not in continuity with the other Bonds. Let's see. Are you gonna wear the hockey mask again? Yeah, I'm gonna do that. Will you take it off during my questions? Nope, not gonna do that. If everyone in the crap hole posed nude in a magazine, whose issue would you grab first, and whose issue would you throw in the shredder? I'd probably throw my own issue in the shredder because I wouldn't want to see that. I suppose somebody could have photographed me nude without my knowledge, but I wouldn't want to see my own. Who would I grab first? I don't remember the name of the member who said this, but a comment was made not that long ago about he got one of those spam enlarge your penis ads in his email box or something like that, and he said, well, I don't need a 16-inch penis or something like that, implying that the one he already had was 8 inches long. I'd probably check out his first just to see if he actually does have an 8-inch long dick in real life. If he's boasting about it, I am kind of curious. Is it that long, or are they using is he using a more standard porn measuring method? Where they start several inches. Where they exaggerate, or all those tricks they do. Like trying to find out how big Billy Glide actually was. God rest his soul. It's kind of difficult because they all exaggerate. But yeah, did you know that he's dead? Billy Glide, he passed away. He was a good man. I liked his work. I was sad to hear about that. But yeah, anyway, the guy who says he has an 8-inch dick, I would want to know if he actually does or not. Not that I'm a homosexual man or anything like that. That's pretty big. Is it legit? I'd kind of like to know. Have you ever whacked it to Paris Hilton? And if no, why are you lying about it? No, I haven't. I don't find her attractive at all. She doesn't have the type of body that I like, and I'm quite open about completely and utterly despising who Kim Kardashian is as a person, but I'm not reluctant to admit that I find her very attractive. So Paris just doesn't do anything for me, personality-wise or looks-wise at all, and I'll always be able to find something better to whack off to than Paris Hilton. Favorite frozen pizza topping? Well, that was addressed already with Luther Simon. I forgot his name. I didn't forget his name. I just forgot who asked me that question. That has been addressed previously, but Red Baron pepperoni. Just if you've zoned out or already forgotten. Why are you looking at me like that? Do you know my secrets? I know everyone's secrets. Everyone. So I know what you did last summer. I saw what you did and know who you are, and I know it all. I know it all. If they filmed a movie about your life, who would have played you, and why am I the barber in the movie for 2 seconds during the opening credits and played by Alf? Well, you would be in there played by Alf for 2 seconds, just as sort of a shocking anyone can die scene, kind of like when, well, I don't want to spoil anything from Game of Thrones if you're out there and haven't watched it yet, but, anyone can die on that show, just about, Khaleesi certainly has a lot of plot armor, or at least she will until the very final episode, same with Jon, but, anyway, we won't get into that, but, who would have played me? Maybe dark blonde-haired Ron Livingston from Office Space. He played Peter. Maybe somebody like that. A friend of mine once told me Philip Seymour Hoffman. I don't know how serious they were about that. Yeah, and maybe a cross between Ron Livingston and Philip Seymour Hoffman. Maybe that would work. I don't really know how good of a movie based on my life would be. But who knows? Drink and snack of choice at the movie theater. Blue slushy of some kind would be great for a beverage. And Reese's Pieces, probably. They're one of my favorite candies. Blue slushy and Reese's Pieces. Well, I think that is everything. Yeah, that'll about do it. So I'm gonna watch a Futurama episode, I think, and then yeah, peace out. I don't think I did that right. It doesn't matter.